Hi, so in this video we'll see how to create div elements. So div elements are nothing but blocks. Okay, so these blocks are actually used to create sections of your web page. So to create a div, the first thing that you have to do is just a div. That's all. Okay, so this is how you create a div. This is actually a container, and you can place any number of elements within this container. And whatever styles or positioning that you actually apply to this div, that will be in turn applied to all the elements that are inside this particular div. Okay, so by default, when you create a div, it's not going to actually show you anything because there is no element. This particular div only has a width, it does not have a height, also it does not have any background color. So to actually see that, if you go and view or inspect, since you have a div here, this div is actually going to have the entire width of your display. So the entire width of my display is 1904, I guess, and then the height actually is showing as 0. Okay, so that is what the height here actually is. Okay, so suppose say if you want to do anything with your div, I'll actually create a small style here. Okay, so I'm creating an internal style. The style actually you can create it as a inline style as well. So all you need to do is just create a style here, and then here I'm going to give the width as say 100%. Okay, and for the next parameter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the height as say 400 pixels, and then also for the background color, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a background color as this. Okay, so now if you see, you'll be able to see this as your div. Okay, so this is your background. Okay, so this is how you actually work with your div. So this particular div actually has a width of 100%. Okay, so here you can see this has a width of 100%. It has a height of 400, and then a background color of whatever element that you actually have here. Okay, so divs are basically just containers. Okay, so whatever elements that you actually place here is all going to be inside this div. So for example, say I have a heading, and then also I have a paragraph. So here, to have my paragraph, what I'm going to do is I'll just have this text, and then I'll paste it here. Okay, and now if you actually see and refresh, I have all my text inside here. Okay, so this is how you work with your divs. So to actually just have a small example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link here. So the link that I'm actually going to create is ahref, just a dummy link, and then say read more, and then I'll just close it. So inside here, this is actually a form. I have a background, and this is actually a block. To actually style these elements inside, what I'm going to do is for each of these elements, I'm going to give something called as a class. So before I start, I'm going to remove this inline class here. Okay, so I do not need this. I'm going to in turn give a class name, and then say give it a name of container. Okay, and now we'll start with a bit of css as well. Okay, so styling this particular element. So here I'm actually working with an internal style. Okay, so later on we'll actually work with external style sheets also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is for defining my container, I'm going to give a dot. So because I need to call a class, I need to have a prefix of dot. Okay, and then dot container, and this is going to have a width of 100%, then a height of 400 pixels, and then I'm going to have a background color of say this blue. Okay, and now if you see, I have it here. The next thing that I need to do is I want to position this element to the center. Okay, so align this element to the center. So all I need to do is text align, and then if I do it center, each and every element is actually going to be moved to the center of this particular block. The next thing that I need to do is I need to actually bring this element down. I need to change the color of all the elements inside. So for that, I'm going to just give color. So color is actually an attribute to change the text color of your block. And then here if I give say white, it's going to change all the elements, the heading as well as the paragraph. Of course, the color of my link is not going to change, because for that I have to change it separately. So dot container, and then if I want to concentrate on or target only the anchor tag here, what I need to do is, inside my container I have my paragraph, and then inside my paragraph I have my anchor tag. So that is how you need to target specific elements. Okay, so this is actually a path. So inside my container I have my paragraph tag, and inside my paragraph I have a anchor tag. Okay, so here the first thing that I have to do is, I have an underline here. Okay, so I need to get rid of this underline first. So text decoration is what we need to use for that. Okay, so text decoration, and then I need to remove the underline. So I do not need any form of text decoration, and also the color of the text that I actually want is okay, white. All right, so now if you see, my text color of this link is also white here. Fine. So if you want to change the font of all the elements inside, you can actually change the font also. So to change the font family, just type in font family, and then whatever font that you want, you can actually change. So I'm using a sans serif font here, so it is automatically going to change all the font inside. Okay, so in this video I'm going to actually tell you about how to have margins and paddings and everything. Okay, so here I have a spacing. Okay, a bit of spacing that is by default. If you want to get rid of this spacing, what you need to do is, in your styling you have to remove all the spacing that actually is there in your HTML body. So to remove all the elements, or remove all the elements spacing in your page, what you need to do is just use a star. Okay, and then here inside what you need to do is just define the margin as 0. Okay, and then the padding also as 0. Okay, so now all the paddings and margins are actually removed. So the next thing that you want to do is, you want to bring this element down, this particular heading down. So for that, what you need to do, you have to work with something called as positioning. Okay, so for positioning an element, what you need to do, dot container, and then you need to position the heading. So that is your h1. So what I want is, I want to position this element first. Okay, so only if you position this element and make it say relative, there are two main elements, the position relative and then position absolute. When you work with position, what is going to happen is, the point of position is actually going to start from this particular point, that is from here, wherever this element actually has been placed. Whereas if you use absolute, what is going to happen is, the element is actually, or the element's position is actually going to start from this position, that is the web page left end. Okay, so position, just change it to relative, and then at this point I'm going to bring the element from the top to say around 150 pixels. So the element is actually going to come down to this particular point. Also what I need to do is, I need to bring the paragraph also down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, dot container, and then inside my container I have a paragraph. Similarly, I'm going to actually give a position, and then the position set to relative, and then top again I'm going to give it as 150 pixels. Okay, so all the element is actually going to come down. So instead of giving 150, because the spacing is not sufficient, what I'm going to do, I'll give 175. Okay, so here I have my 175 element. The next thing is, I need to actually bring my button as well down. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is just cut it, and then here paste it down, and position I'll make it say relative, and then from the top I'm actually going to bring it down to 200 pixels. Okay, so the 200 pixels is too much. Let us make this say 175. Okay, why is this not coming? Okay, okay, so 50 is sufficient. Okay, so the reason why it is actually taking 50, or actually the reason why it's going out of my box when I give 175 is because my anchor tag is actually inside my paragraph tag. So already we have given 175 for our paragraph, and after that, even if I actually give 175 again, it's going to be around 400. The actual height of our container is actually 400, so that is the reason it's actually coming outside. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, once you have your block, the next element you need to do is give a background to this particular button. Okay, and make it appear like a button. So I'm going to apply a background and say make it something like this gray. Okay, now once you have a background, you need to add something called as a padding. Okay, I'll tell you about margin and padding even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a padding of 10 pixels. Okay, so for the top and bottom, and then 25 pixels for the left and right. Okay, so as an example, I'll actually walk you through what is padding is in detail in the next class. Okay, so here if you see, this is how I create a button. So this entire element is actually done using your div. If in case I want to move this container anywhere else, okay, so this is my div, and if I need to change the width of this element, I need to bring this element down. All I need to do is, instead of giving 100%, say I'll give 80%. Okay, so I'll have just 80% of this element. If I want to make the container actually centered to my display, all I need to do is change the margin and then set it to auto. So now my element actually will be set to the center. And then also, if I want to bring this element down, I'll be able to bring it down as well by just applying one more selector called as margin top. Okay, and then say make it 50 pixels. So I'll be able to bring this down as well. So divs are basically containers. Okay, and using this container, you can have any number of elements inside, and then all the elements that you have inside, you can actually move them wherever you want in your web page. Okay, so basically divs are just blocks inside your web page. Okay, and in the next class I'll tell you what basically margin and padding is, and then additionally what is all you can do using your div elements.